right, welcome everyone to another exciting episode of the Team Lead Talks podcast. I'm your host out of Alexandria, Virginia, Andrew Becker. On today's episode, my new buddy, Brad Bone, is the co-founder of RiverX AI and the co-founder of Prime Buyers. Welcome to the show, Brad. Excited to finally have you on, man.
Yeah, great to be here, Andrew. Thank you.
Yeah, man, let's jump right into this. You know, I like to keep these short and sweet. So let's talk about your real estate experience, just real quick, what you did there, how how that came about. But then let's hop into this new AI thing that I'm excited to learn more from you.
Yeah, so I'm actually a twin with my brother Justin, and we started our real estate company almost 11 years ago now. 2015 is when we started, and we live in California. Eventually, it turned into doing deals out of state. Now we focus primarily in Jacksonville, Florida. So our real estate company's in Jacksonville, Florida. We do a lot of wholesale. We've done everything. Now it's back to mostly wholesaling. So that's kind of a really quick background of real estate.
That was too quick. Too quick. No, I'm joking. Okay, so you've been running a team 11 years, quite similar. I'm at 13, I think, in my market. So that's kind of cool. So you are in California, virtually running your team that's in Jacksonville, Florida. So across the country, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Or where's your brother? Is he in California too? Or
He's
is
in
he
California
down
too. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Okay. So I'm sure you've learned a lot, spent a lot of money. We can talk about all that maybe on a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
But let's flash forward to RiverX AI. Why did you build it? What does it do? Who is it for? Let's kind of deep dive into this solution here.
Yeah, so about 2.5 years ago, I was at a mastermind, Collective Genius, and someone brought up AI appointment setting. And really, there was nothing out. There was a few companies out there, but not much to speak of.
Right.
And it piqued my interest. I was like, man, if we could get AI to do our follow-up, I mean, that's like one of the hardest things that we have to solve with real estate investing is like taking care of the leads and all that. So that got me thinking that way. And we started, both of us, my brother and I both started researching AI, trying to figure out what was out there in the market. We found a company, started working with them. And it took like 6 months just to get it figured out with our business and to get it kind of dialed in. And then we started consistently buying about 3 deals extra a month from AI appointment setting.
Okay.
So
what were you doing
there,
if you don't mind me asking, Brad? Yeah. Like before AI, what were you closing? Like how many, give or take, on average per month? And then you said you added another 3 on top of that?
Yeah, we were probably 4 to 5 deals, maybe something like that. And, not all of those close, so I'm talking about the front end contracts. You're still going to have some fallout, but, we added AI appointment setting. Now we're probably signing 8 to 10 contracts a month.
Nice.
Just adding in AI and just making follow-up more efficient.
Very cool.
And then somewhere around 6 months after that, kind of getting it implemented into our business, we launched RiverX AI. And the goal was to, help our friends in the industry do the same thing.
Yeah, so. Very cool. And also, just out of curiosity, I'm like a numbers guy. Adding those 3 additional contracts, I'm assuming for wholesale. Yeah. That was the exit strategy. What's your average? Yeah, what was your average wholesale fee? So how much revenue were you actually adding as a result of this?
So our average between wholesale and novations was around 25,000, maybe a little bit lower than that back then. We're probably a little higher than that now. So maybe 22 to 25,000 per deal. We had a fallout as well from those 3. So let's say we closed 2 of those. So yeah, you're adding 40 to 50,000. Yeah,
man, that's awesome. Yeah. Just from implementing a tool that I'm sure does not cost $44,000 to $50,000 a month. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so what? Like those listening right now are probably like, okay, well, outbound AI or database follow-up appointment setting AI, they get the general idea, but like, what does it actually do? How does it actually work?
So yeah, it's its own platform. So it runs alongside your CRM. Through integration with your CRM, we can keep leads organized across both platforms, but you kind of think of it as like an AI lead manager doing all the things your lead managers would do, follow up, handling leads. The one thing it doesn't do that we often get asked about is, can it do cold call? Can it do cold outreach?
What it could people when they say that?
What's that?
And what do you, I know the answer, but what do
Yeah.
you tell people when they ask you that question?
Well, it could, but we want to keep on the right side of the law. So there are TCPA laws, FCC laws, especially using AI to do cold outreach. If that was true, I mean, we would all be hammering everybody's phone, and we'd hate our lives. So
Dude, I hate my life, my current cell phone life right now. This is not from you or anyone in real estate, but I'm getting bombarded with AI robocalls about my personal loan being approved
yeah,
500 times a day. So it's already driving me nuts. So
yeah,
I know how painful it could be if that was allowed.
people are doing it. It's illegal, but people are doing it. So our platform, we tell people you need to have opt-in leads, so it needs to be either follow-up, and I know that's a little bit gray as to how you exactly define that, but it needs to be leads that have come into your system and you're working as follow-ups or inbound.
Yeah, let's define opt-in for those who might not truly understand it. What do you mean by opting in when a
Yeah.
lead opts in?
Like ideally, like a Facebook lead or a pay-per-click lead through Google or something like that is going to fill out a form, and you're going to click a button. If you're a prospect, you're going to click a button at the bottom that explicitly gives the business the permission to follow up, and that's the best way to do it. Sometimes we have TV leads that come in and nobody actually clicked a button, but by them calling us, engaging with us, there's an understanding there's going to be some follow up there.
Right.
So that's really an opt-in lead. What is not opt-in is when you go and buy a list from some data company, skip trace it, and start blasting it. You're running into problems. Even if you're not using AI, you've got do not call and all that kind of stuff to deal with. And then AI,
Yeah.
and now you've got FCC issues to
Dude,
solve.
as I mentioned before, we kind of got into the game around the same time. And I remember back in the day when the government had not caught up on stuff like this before. Did you ever, and I'm referring to like mass outbound text messages, did you ever
Yeah.
get into that? Like we got
Yeah.
into that a little bit and then like government caught on. Now it's like the fines are outrageous. But dude, even though there are still fines and you can get obliterated from a financial standpoint, I still know people that are like, we send 50,000 text messages a day to like cold. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so insane and like a horrible risk, but
Right.
okay, cool.
Yeah, no, we were doing it. We did it for a couple of years probably when it
Yeah.
first came out, and it drove most of our deal flow for a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
And then it started getting harder. I mean, more competition came in, and there was a lot more people doing it. And then the TCPA laws came. So or defined. I guess the TCPA laws were already there, but they defined it better as to what it meant.
And they were actually, I heard some nightmare stories of them actually serving people and
Yeah,
having to pay massive fines. But
yeah,
we don't have to make this about old texting. I just thought it was funny. But to summarize here, cold AI outreach, bad, right?
hmm
But
yep,
get permission to market to them and reach out to them is good when they opt in. And then that allows RiverX AI to kind of take over, right?
yeah. So if you've got a database of leads that are opted in, and you've also got inbound leads coming in, the way we do it is the way our clients do it is you sign up for RiverX, we integrate across to your CRM. So that takes care of everything from today forward. And then we have the client do a one-time download of their leads, pump those into RiverX, put those in the right sequences, depending on
Mm-hmm.
kind of where they're at in the sales process. And then from there, you move forward. So you only really have to download your database once, and you're
To
not
get
pulling
all caught
leads.
up,
What's that?
and then
Yeah,
you're
you
like
get caught
starting
up.
from day one.
Yeah, and your leads are still staying in your CRM. It's just that we're downloading them into a CSV, uploading them into Rainmaker. So now that you have them being hit over there.
Okay, cool. And then what happens? So I sign up, I connect it to the CRM. You kind of do like a backwards from the CRM back to RiverX. And then you mentioned like a sequence, but what is the sequence involved? And how do you know that it's having conversations that you would want it to have
Yeah.
and not going haywire?
Yeah, good question. So you actually have a platform you can log into inside Rainmaker, and you can actually see the conversations. So conversations are being had through text, email, and then also voice. So you can, and those are recorded, so you can jump in and listen to the voice calls. The goal of our AI system is to set appointments on your calendar. That's what it's trying to do. It's not trying to close the deal. It's not necessarily trying to build a ton of rapport.
Yeah.
This is where I'm a little bit different than some AI founders out there. I'm not trying to get AI to replace the human experience. We just want it to replace the tedious stuff that humans shouldn't be doing anyway, like prospecting, getting people back engaged, and let humans do what we do best, which is build rapport, solve problems, close deals. So I think, there's an argument to be made down the road. Maybe AI will be so good that it can do all that. The problem is we're not running very authentic businesses if that ever comes to that point, because grandma's thinking she's being taken care of by some robot that sounds like a human. So that's more of a philosophical thing.
Yeah, I always say this, like I talk on the podcast a lot about what you just touched on. Like, in my opinion, like real estate, medicine, and like law should not be like A to Z, start to finish, like robot, for that exact reason, because there's like a personal touch to real estate as there is in medicine and law too. So really good to keep that in mind. Also, I firmly believe, just like we spoke about earlier about no outbound AI bots can do that, I think federal regulations might tighten that even more around like the transaction side. So the people thinking or building doing that now might be in for it when they fire their entire staff and it's just Andrew and Brad, but a robot's going all the way through. So that's kind of like my risk averse tolerance level there, where I love yours. It's doing low hanging fruit, but important low hanging fruit that humans might not even have the opportunity to get to in an efficient, effective manner. But this is running on the background, but then it involves you at a certain point, and that's the appointment.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I think the regulations, see, here's the problem. If you have AI do all the human stuff, that can start to become deceptive or manipulation. And I think that the FCC could catch up to that at some point. So I'd rather just like do it straight up. Let AI set appointments. Don't go too much in, we still have great sounding AI voice, and that's just to move the prospect forward, but let the humans actually build the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a important, very, very important fact to keep in mind there. Curious, Brad, like the automation part seems amazing. It like plugs in and it's kind of like an opportunity cost there. Like you're either going to get the deals with a human, or you can have this machine going and kind of set an appointment to resurrect anything that maybe I would never get to. But the quality control part of this all, like how am I, if I'm using RiverX, involved in like what it's saying, how it's saying it? Do I have any input? Like how is it learning what to do, what to say? Does that just come from you? Is it an aggregate of everybody on your platform? Like how does that part of it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, RiverX AI has what we have built out of the box right now is a bunch of sequences, and, for example, unresponsive leads are going to get hit aggressively, follow-ups a little less aggressively. So we have all these sequences built out, and that's not AI yet. It's really not AI doesn't really kick in until the prospect responds. So all those sequences, those are customizable however you want. Even if you're in a different industry, if you're a lender or you do some hard money, transactional lending, or you do direct mail, whatever you do, we can actually set Rainmaker up for your business because we can adjust all that. The AI responding when someone responds, that can be adjusted too if you want more qualification, things like that. We would just have to do that on the back end. So we would just customize that for you on the back end. But you can see how it's responding. Really, we have AI set up pretty simple. Answer questions, overcome objectives, and then just push for the appointment. That's really the goal, is to push for the appointment.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you, as a customer of RiverX, have some input of how the conversation goes. Yeah. So if I'm making this up, but out of the box, you have to get 3 answers to set an appointment, but I want 5. Mm-hmm. That's doable, and I can update that on the back end.
Yeah, we can do all that. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So here's the next best question, dude. You mentioned like it's adding 3, conservatively 2, about $44,000 to $50,000 in additional revenue that is found revenue, in my opinion. What does all this cost? Like, how does it get set up? How long does it take? And then how can somebody reach out to you to see if this might be a good fit for their business?
Yeah. So the cost, we have 4 different plans, and It starts at $197 a month, which is extremely low. But my goal is to, like, even the brand new guy that hardly has any deals yet or hardly is doing any marketing is able to start out with that 197 plan. You only get text and email. You don't get voice, and there's kind of a limit to how many follow-ups you can do. And then it goes all the way up to $11.97 a month. And the big guys that have huge teams, they're doing multi-million a year, are on that plan. As far as how long it takes, probably the longest delay is the A2P process, which is just getting registered with SMS. And then once A2P process is done, which we help you through that, we actually have figured out, how to kind of make that process go fast. Once that's done, you're live within 72 hours. And at that point, if you want to customize, we can customize from there. So yeah, it's a $14.97 setup fee, $1,497. That takes care of our costs, kind of the onboarding, and then also the stuff that's coming out of the box. So
okay, very cool. Yep. How can somebody reach you, dude?
Yeah, you can riverxhub.com. Go to riverxhub.com, click services, Rainmaker. There's also a link in there to set a demo or contact us. Go to the contact page, set up a demo, and love to work with anybody looking, not just real estate investors, really anybody that's wanting appointment set.
Yeah, just a clarification on that. That's just sales in general when you need to get an appointment. So like industry agnostic kind of thing, right? Not just for real estate.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, even so, first of all, yes, industry agnostic. We can set it up for any industry, but also think about, like, even as a real estate investor, you could have this hit your buyers list and re-engage them. Not necessarily sell deals, but re-engage them, get them. If you can think of a list of people that are opted in that you would like to talk to and get appointments set, Rainmaker could work that. So
yeah. And I know that you and I have been talking about Rainmaker or RiverX going into billions. So I'm really excited to be able to offer that to our customer base too.
Yeah.
So looking forward to continuing that conversation and seeing how many people we can help there. So Brad, it was fantastic to have you, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Like I said, looking forward to the bigger stuff that we had talked about prior, but thank you so much for your time, dude.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
See ya.